What is up, everybody? Welcome on in to Broad Street Sports, your home for the best Philly sports talk every single day and unfiltered. Uh, you know, I'm at the point right now, I'm disappointed. And I think a lot of Phillies fans out there are disappointed in the same way that I am. This is a sad time. And I get it, man. I get we signed one of the best closers in the game. I get we signed I learned a way to say his name today. It's not Duran, it's Duran or something like that. But it's kind of hard to say. So, and I don't, you know what I mean? But let's just stick with Duran. So I get I understand we signed, one of the best closers in the game. I get it, and I'm happy and I'm excited. But there's no possible way that Dave Dombrowski sat there and said, "Yup, Duran and Harrison Bader are the two best options to upgrade this baseball team." There is not a chance that is seriously the only possible additions that he could have added to this baseball team. It's sad. So welcome on in, everybody. So the trade deadline is wrapped up about an hour ago. I gave it some time. I was going to do it right after the deadline ended, but I gave it some time to see if there was some trades that would have ended up happening. Any other reports? It's just I'm upset, and I think a lot of people are as well. If you guys want to call into the show, 215-839-8246, and I want to hear from all of you. Again, just like last night, this is another show. I want to hear from all the fans out there. I want to hear from everybody. This is a sad time. This is a sad occurrence, and maybe I shouldn't be as upset as I am or as disappointed as I am, but I'm pretty upset about this, and I think a lot of the fans are. So, of course, you guys want to leave your thoughts in the comments. That's okay as well, but definitely make sure you guys subscribe, comment. Of course, you guys want to call into the show, 215-839-8246. No Quan and no starting pitching. Yeah, it's sad. It's bad. It's like, I don't know. We were getting led on for such a long period of time. Once we signed Bader, right? You remember on Twitter, on Instagram, everybody's tweeting out the Matt Gelbs of the world, right? Everybody's tweeting out. The Phillies still are contacting the Guardians. Are still contacting Cleveland about bringing in Stephen Kwan. They're still calling. They're still trying to get a package deal. They're still trying to bring him in. The Phillies are not done yet. Whether it was Kwan, whether it was Robert, whether it was Jhoan Duran. All we were told after the Phillies signed and brought in Harrison Bader, we were told that they are not done yet. They're going to continue to add. They're going to continue to bring guys in. They're going to continue to make this a World Series caliber team. That's what we were told. Remember, that's what we were told. We were told that for the past week. We were told that after we brought in Jhoan Duran. We were told that for hours after we brought in Harrison Bader. And I still, and here's the saddest thing. And all of you know I don't trust Dombrowski, and I don't like Dave Dombrowski at all. But I actually somehow, some way had faith that he was going to bring somebody in. Surprising, right? I had faith that he was going to bring in Robert. He was going to somehow be able to pull off Stephen Kwan. It's sad. It's sad. What happened to Luis Robert? I don't know. Again, he's another guy. We kept hearing that Dombrowski is calling about him. We kept hearing that Dombrowski is trying to pick up Luis Robert, another guy. Phillies, because it's just the fact that Phillies cannot pull the trigger. Dave Dombrowski is soft. Dave Dombrowski is a prospect hugger. It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. I'd rather have Kepler than Bader. Now, I fully disagree. I 1,000% disagree. Bader can hit righties. Bader can hit lefties. He has a higher batting average. I think he has more homers and RBIs than Kepler. He's a way better defender, way faster. Harrison Bader is still a much better option and player than Max Kepler. It's still not a massive upgrade like Stephen Kwan would have been, but it's still a much better option than Max Kepler out there. It's still a better option than allowing Rojas to platoon. It's still a better option than having Otto Kemp play left field here and there. So no matter if Bader is a great pickup or not, because I still don't believe that he's a great pickup, Harrison Bader is still much better and productive than Max Kepler. And that's it. That's not how I feel. That's how the fan base feels. That's a factual statement. That it's facts. It's just like, and I'm going to try and phrase it in this way. And I want you all to kind of understand this, right? And it's the fact that, Harrison Bader is a huge upgrade instead of Max Kepler. But in my opinion, this is just another safety pick by Dave Dombrowski and another Austin Hayes. I genuinely believe that this is another Austin Hayes. Harrison Bader's a good defender. He can hit a little bit. He's much better than Kepler, Rojas. But this isn't the big outfield power bat that Dombrowski promised us, that Dombrowski said we were going to go out and get. This doesn't secure us a World Series. This doesn't put us over the hump to being champions. So I think this is a loser pickup by Dombrowski. I think it's a terrible trade. And it's just like, how can you look? And that's the thing. How can you look at Harrison Bader and say, yeah, this guy's going to be a difference maker in the lineup? Yeah, this guy's going to win us a World Series. And I understand he's better than Kepler. I understand he's better than Rojas. But what does he bring to the table day in and day out that Marsh doesn't do? You know what I mean? What does he do that makes the Phillies a significantly better ball club than any of the other guys on this team? And any of the other guys. And I mean, that's just being honest. That's just being honest. It's like, so let me just let me give you guys some of the statistics from Bader this year. He's betting with 38 RBIs. Let's take. What's going on, man? State your name and where you're from. You there?
Hey, Ryan, it's Purist.
What's going on, brother?
Hey, brother. Man, I feel really bummed out. I mean, you see all these guys going for nothing, like Suarez, and Phillies can step up a little bit. I don't know. I mean, when you get pitchers going, you got Kelly going. You got Kelly. So, you got to see this Taiwan Walker. Oh my God, Taiwan Walker. He's like a cockroach. You can't kill him, man.
So answer me this. I mean, obviously the Phillies are way better today than they were 2 days ago. But do these trades make you actually feel better? Do they make you believe that this team could win a World Series?
Not really. I mean, our biggest weakness is the bullpen. We get the best closer, but we had the worst closer in Romano. I mean, doesn't that Romano he doesn't even close anymore. I don't even know who our closer is. Strom? Oh my God, I'm so confused.
Yeah,
but weren't you supposed to get 2 more arms?
Right. That's what I came down here every night saying. When I fired up my show, I said, look, the Phillies need 2 bullpen arms. And even last night, I know you were in the show last night, it was the fact that, hey, we got our closer, but now where is our setup guy? And all day I'm hearing from Dombrowski and people on Twitter. Well, let's not forget when postseason comes around, Luzardo, maybe Nola, those guys are going to, maybe Ranger, you know what I mean? Those guys are going to be in the bullpen. And then I'm like, okay, and what? We already lost Alvarado. We're not going to have Alvarado for the postseason. And then they're bringing up the fact that we have Dave Roberts coming in. The guy's 40.
Yeah, you don't know.
He's 40.
40.
I mean, like, I just don't understand how Dombrowski can look at this ball club and say, yeah, that we're going to go win a World Series now because we added Harrison Bader and Jhoan Duran. Jhoan Duran, great, fine, I'm happy. He's wonderful. But Harrison Bader, I just don't get it.
Yeah. If I was the GM, I would have got Robert for center, Bader for left field, and Mullins for right field. Get rid of the whole outfield.
Well,
because the Phillies got the worst outfield in the league.
I don't agree with getting rid of Castellanos. I'm not a fan of getting rid of Castellanos, but I'll tell you this: I thought they were going to get fully rearranged left field and center field. I thought you would see I thought you'd see Bader in either center or left, and then I actually thought they were going to bring in Quan. They were going to bring in Robert. I genuinely thought you were going to see a different center fielder and left fielder. It would have been Bader and Robert or Bader and Quan. And I would have been totally okay with having Harrison Bader out there if we had another guy added to this ball club. But I'm not satisfied in the fact that Harrison Bader is where you're going. I just don't think so.
All right, Ryan. Thank you so much for your time, man. I really appreciate it.
No, thanks.
You really made me feel better after listening to you.
Right. Thanks for calling in, man. I greatly appreciate it. Oh, man. Everybody feels the same way. Everybody feels the same way. And it's not anger. This isn't anger. I've been more pissed off in my lifetime. This is not anger. This is just frustration. This is honestly not even it's just disappointment. I'm disappointed in Dombrowski. And I know everybody that watches my streams regularly know that I've never trusted Dombrowski. I think he's a loser, and I think we've been getting manipulated for a long period of time, and I strongly believe that. But I am also, right, like, I actually held out some hope that Dombrowski was actually going to add to this baseball team. And for some reason, he didn't add to the baseball team. I just don't understand. I mean, like, as I brought up in the phone call, it's like, you know, obviously the Phillies are better today than they were 2 days ago, but so are the Mets, so are the Padres, so are the Dodgers, so are the Yankees, so is every playoff contending baseball team. Don't get me wrong. I'm very happy we added Duran into this ball club. One of the best closers in the game. He's going to be electric. But there's no possible way that Dave Dombrowski looked at the production out of Bader and said, yeah, this guy's going to solve all our problems in the outfield. In what world does that make any sense? And then even if you do add Duran, where is the second bullpen arm that we were supposed to bring in? Where's the setup guy? Where's the next high leverage guy? All day, and even yesterday, I'm seeing the Mets add bullpen arms. I'm seeing the Padres bring in Mason Miller. Why is our president of baseball operations not doing the same exact thing? Why is he afraid to pull the trigger? Why is he afraid to add to this baseball team? It frustrates me, and I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed, man. Every team, every friggin' year gets better and better and better and better, and the Phillies stay over here. The Mets, the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Padres, the Mariners, the Cubs, all of them, all the real playoff contenders that want to actually win a World Series, they got better. They actually got better. Phillies got better, but it's not so much better. And before the show started, I was texting my friend. I was like, I'm not a big fan of what I saw here in the trade deadline. And he's like, I think we're much better. And my rebuttal to that is, how can you say that we're much better when Harrison Bader is literally another Austin Hayes? He's only a little bit better than Marsh and Kepler. And we added the best closer to one of the best closers in the league to an already trashy bullpen. We added him to a trashy bullpen, and who even says that Rob Thompson uses him correctly? This team's so bad that we may not even use Duran in closer situations because he may not have any closing opportunities. I don't get it. I don't get it. And just another thing, man. I have a couple of things, other things I got to touch on here. Let's read some comments. You're 100% right. And the Mets got Mullins and Hell's. Yeah, and right, like they literally upgraded their bullpen. They knew their needs. Not even once. They knew that their needs. They knew that they are in a win now mode, and they just went out and did it. But Dave Dombrowski and the Phillies have no balls, and I think that's what it comes down to. They have no balls. Let's read some more comments. Padres gave up damn near the whole farm, but every single time the Padres do, they do this every single trade deadline, but they do this all the time, and then the next year they have a refurbished farm system. It's the most insane shit. They give up some of the biggest prospects, best prospects in the farm system, and then next year they have even more prospects and guys in the farm system just to trade away and get better at the deadline. In what world, man? How the hell does that shit make sense? Mariners had themselves a great deadline. Yeah, Adam, one of the best power hitters in the game to your team. That always makes you better. And again, they're another team. The Mariners are better than the Phillies at actually bringing guys in. I don't know. The Phillies needed legitimate power hitter. Luis Robert or Suarez were a great option. Yeah, I just I'm not sure. Like, look, I wanted Eugenio Suarez. I did because he's a big power bat. I wanted him, but we didn't need him. We didn't really need a third baseman unless you were going to move Bohm, which I guess if you were going to bring in Suarez, you would have moved Bohm. But that wasn't the top thing on my priority list. The biggest thing on my priority list was bringing in a difference maker outfielder. It was bringing in a real difference maker outfielder. And for some reason, we didn't bring in a difference maker outfielder. I don't understand why this team is the way that it is. You know what I mean? I don't know. And here's another thing that I probably touched on already. My head's going in 55 different freaking places right now, just because I'm just disappointed, man. It's so annoying. Yeah, I touched on this briefly, but why is it that the Yankees, the Padres, the Dodgers, the Yankees, all these teams can add to their team? They could bring I just don't get it. Like, why is it that the Yankees, the Padres, the Dodgers, the Cubs, every other team out there can add and bring stars in to their team every single trade deadline? They give up their whole farm system, and then next year they have new and improved guys in their farm system to trade away again. Why can't the Phillies do that? Why can't the Phillies, every single time the trade deadline rolls around, why can't they push all their chips in to actually making this team better and going on a run? I don't understand that. Think about it. The Yankees, the Dodgers, the Padres, Houston, all those teams actually make themselves better every single trade deadline. Every single trade deadline, they make their team better. But why can't the Phillies? Why can't the Phillies? And it's pretty sad. It is pretty sad, man. I'm just, and again, I mean, I am I'm more disappointed than I am frustrated or angry. I mean, just the fact that Dombrowski said he was actually going to make this team better. And I understand, and I'm very happy and proud that we're able to bring Jhoan Duran in. But there's no way that Dave Dombrowski looked at Harrison Bader, looked at our outfield situation, and said, yeah, this guy's our outfield power bat that we're going to bring in. He's the difference maker. And there's no way after this trade deadline that he believes this team is fully capable of winning a World Series, or even the fact that this makes us an inkling better at winning a World Series. It doesn't. This was another failed trade deadline by Dave Dombrowski. Flat out. It is a failed trade deadline by Dave Dombrowski. I don't know. I'm disappointed. And I know all of you are too. 215-839-8246. That's the number to get in. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Please, please, please hit the like button. Make sure you guys subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you guys know when I'm going live and doing live shows. That that everything's free. Again, inside in my description, there is a link. It takes you to my official merchandise store. If you want to wear Broad Street Sports merchandise, hats, T-shirts, hoodies, crew necks, women's T-shirts, you want to wear all of that, you can, because, you want to wear all of that, you can while being angry. We can cope together. You can wear it while you can support your favorite Philly sports podcast. Because I know the Philadelphia sports world, the Phillies in particular, don't make me feel better. They don't support me. They don't make me feel better. They've never made me feel better. It's sad. This is a I don't know. I just don't understand why every other team is able to make big trades and the Phillies can't. And here's my thing. I think Dave Dombrowski looks at this trade deadline and says, yeah, I added one of the best closers in the game, and I brought in some outfield help that, is better than Kepler and Rojas and maybe Marsh, right? But I think that he did this, and he's going to rely on the guys that are getting paid $300 million. He's going to rely on Harper. He's going to rely on Turner. He's going to rely on Schwarber and Castellanos. Yeah, he added to the bullpen a little bit. Yeah, he brought in a better left fielder or center fielder. I understand that. It doesn't make us that much better, but I think Dombrowski now is fully relying and forcing his guys he's paying $300 million to step up to the plate with purpose and take care of business. I know we all wanted Quan, but I think the way that Dombrowski looks at this is my guys need to step up. I wouldn't have to add to this baseball team every trade deadline if Harper, Turner, Schwarber, JT, Nick Castellanos, boom, Stott. If all those guys actually stepped up and did their part in postseason series, he knows he wouldn't have to deal with this. He knows he would not have to deal with having to go, everybody forcing him to go out and get big-time trades. So I think this is Dombrowski's way of saying, hey, I expect more out of the guys that are on the $300 million contracts. I expect more out of the stars, Schwarber, Harper, Turner, Castellanos, Stott, boom. He relies on them. This is his way of saying, get your head out of your ass. Don't make Rob Thompson bench you in the NLDS. Go out there, perform, be the stars that everybody knows you can be, and go win a World Series. Yeah, we added Duran, one of the best closers. Yeah, we added Harrison Bader. Makes us a tad bit better, but it doesn't make us 100% better. So he's going to rely. Topper's going to rely. And at this point, there's nothing that we can do. There's no other trades that we can do. It's over. Harrison Bader's a Philly. I think he's another Austin Hayes. I think he's another like low risk, high reward, but I wouldn't even say he's a high reward. He's just another Austin Hayes, a safe play for Dombrowski. And yeah, I just think now you're at the point you have to rely on your guys that have been here, the guys that have been in the postseason big times. And here's the thing. I don't want to make it seem like Harrison Bader cannot be a difference maker, because I'm sure that at some point he's going to be a difference maker, but he's not like Stephen Kwan, where, as soon as you have Stephen Kwan in your lineup, or a Robert, or, Jhoan Duran, those guys automatically make you better and are difference makers in ball games. I don't believe that Harrison Bader is an every night difference maker. I think he's going to be like a Tommy Evans. Remember last year, Tommy Evans, I think he won NLCS MVP for the Dodgers. Am I correct on that? I'm pretty sure. I think he's going to be one of the guys that have a very good series. You know what I mean? Like NLDS, very, very good series, or NLCS, or maybe even if we get to the World Series, he'll have a very good World Series. I just don't think he's one of the guys in the lineup that can make you significantly better all the time. And that is exactly what the Phillies were looking for. The Phillies were looking for somebody that day in, day out can hit homers, get on base, has a little bit of speed, can play good defense in the outfield, can be a difference maker day in and day out. That's exactly what Dombrowski, all the reporters, everybody said that's what the Phillies were looking for and wanted to get. Harrison Bader's not that guy. He's another Austin Hayes. He's another mediocre, lightweight pickup by Dombrowski, because he's a prospect hugger. Dave Dombrowski is a prospect hugger. All these other guys, the Mets, the Padres, the Yankees, the Dodgers, will trade these guys to get better in return. And I just don't think that Dombrowski understands that the Phillies are in a win-now mode. The Phillies are in a win-now mode. And adding these guys, Bader, that doesn't get me in a win-now mode. This just doesn't. All right. I want the Phillies to call up Crawford tomorrow. I don't think that's off the table. I don't think that's off the table. I think that they may do it. And I'm not kidding. I believe that you could possibly see the Phillies call up Justin Crawford tomorrow. And I'll tell you exactly why. So they obviously they bring Bader in, but I think they're going to DFA Kepler. I think they're going to get either send down or get rid of DFA Rojas. So then you have Marsh, Crawford, Bader, and Castellanos and Otto Kemp that can play the outfield. Before, even a couple of hours ago, I would have said, yeah, they're not going to call him up because I think they're going to go out and get a Quan or a Duran or somebody else. I genuinely thought they were going to do it. But now I'm at the point, hey, nothing. I think he's actually going to get called up. And I don't know if it's going to be right away, but I think it's going to be at some point. I think it's going to be at some point soon. I just strongly believe now he is back on the table to get called up. He's back on the table to getting called up. And it is that's exciting. And again, I touched on this last night. The only positive out of this trade deadline for the Phillies is the fact that they signed Jhoan Duran. Not only that, but he's under 2 years of control. He's 2 years left on his contract after this year. So he's not a rental arm. Like remember when the Phillies brought in Estevez? Estevez was a rental arm that Dombrowski had no intentions of bringing back. Now you have one of the best closers in the game under two more years under contract. And I mean, that gives you a lot of leeway to bring in better bullpen arms, better setup guys, better long relief guys. It would be better than bringing in a Seth Johnson, and again, like, I don't understand how Dave Dombrowski could look at this bullpen, even though he brought in a very good Jhoan Duran. I get it. But I don't understand how he could look at this bullpen and say, yeah, they don't need to add another arm. They don't need another bullpen guy. How do you say that? We have Seth Johnson, Daniel Roberts playing in legitimate situations. And clutch moments, they're pitching. How does that make any sense? How do you look at that and say, yeah, I still trust Romano. I still trust Strom and Kirkring. Even though those the two better guys in the pen, they're still very shaky. I just don't understand how Dave Dombrowski can look at this baseball team bullpen-wise and say, yeah, we don't need another bullpen arm. I'm okay with Seth Johnson and Daniel Roberts pitching in big spots. That's what I'm hearing. That's what this trade deadline says. This trade deadline quite literally says that Dave Dombrowski is okay. Look, this trade deadline says that Dave Dombrowski is okay with Romano, Seth Johnson, Daniel Roberts, all pitching in big spots. And I understand we brought in one of the best closers in the game, Duran. I promise you that makes me happy. But there's no way he looks at this and says, yeah, we don't need another bullpen arm. We don't need a setup guy. We don't need a long relief guy. I'm okay with Romano pitching in big spots. I'm okay with Strom and Kirkring in big spots. Give me a break. I'm just done. I'm done. I am done. So again, and I said this earlier in the show, I'm not angry. I'm not frustrated. I'm just disappointed in what I've seen out of Dave Dombrowski. I'm disappointed. And I think that's just how every Philly fan is feeling. They are upset. They're just disappointed. And when you have this fan base disappointed, it's just not a good place to be. So the Phillies, again, MLB trade deadline has ended. Phillies add two guys, one of the best closers in the game, Jhoan Duran. Then they bring in outfielder Harrison Bader, very good defensively, very fast, just not that good offensively. And I just don't understand how Dave Dombrowski says, yeah, he's the outfield power bat that we're lacking and that we need. I just don't get it. I just do not understand Dave Dombrowski's thinking. And I honestly don't think that this saves Dombrowski's job. I don't think Dombrowski's job is saved. I really don't. This was a sucky trade deadline. I mean, look, man, it's a sucky trade deadline. I understand that bringing in Duran is great, but this was a sucky trade deadline out of Dave Dombrowski. This sucked. Harrison Bader should not be your outfield power bat that you were lacking. He should not be the answer to that problem. He shouldn't. I don't know. I don't know. I'm upset. I'm disappointed, and I'm just done. But there's nothing we can do now. We have to just rely on the stars that are getting paid $300 million to step up and play good, safe, sound baseball. But yeah, MLB trade deadline is over. Phillies play tomorrow against the Detroit Tigers at 6:45. Make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe. It's totally free. And if you go into my description box here on YouTube, you will see a link that takes you to my official merchandise store. You can represent your favorite Philadelphia sports podcast, rep it with pride, and just wear it every time you're listening to me, every time the Phillies are playing in the game, because just know they hate us. I don't know. But go check that out. I got great merch, t-shirts, hoodies, crew necks, women's shirts, hats. I got it all. Go check out my link in the description. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. I will see you all very, very soon. Thank you all for tuning in. I really love and appreciate every single one of yous. Phillies are just sad. Sad. It is sad. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. I will see you all very, very soon. Thank you all so, so much. I love and appreciate you. I will see you guys soon. Thank you.